Last day of my life. Diary, 24th of September, 1916, near Comble. I had spent the night in an old ruined cellar with its walls dripping green moisture, and so now it was good to feel warmth of the sun striking through the folds of my damp tunic. The morning was perfect. There was nothing to be heard save the occasional murmur of soldiers' voices and the crunch of boots on the loose soil. And in the gentle, lulling warmth, the walls seemed very remote, for here was peace. One time, I remember I slowly became aware of the sound of men digging on the other side of the bank near where I stood. I don't know what they were digging for exactly, but I do remember that they sounded very cheerful about it, especially when somebody nearby started a phonograph going. It was very comforting to hear those cheerful noises because, well, it was such a warm and peaceful morning, and it all helped me to forget about the war. And perhaps not only me, for all around me in this desolate back area there were soldiers relaxing. Soldiers quiet and easy in the sun. A whole army at rest, like an unwound clock spring. Men released from a hell in a merciful peace that is suddenly shattered. Shattered by the soft but deadly voices of guns, an insistent clamoring from a heavy barrage at the front 2 miles away. Start to feel the first pangs of fear, and the gentle breath of the morning turns sour. But does any of this affect the other members of my section? Seems not. Pretlove at the end is loudly concluding some coarse joke, and the other men appear to be quite unconcerned and relaxed. I can't tell whether those men at the end are as scared as I am. I don't know. They may be able to cover up well, for a couple of French soldiers from the front are passing them, and the only reaction seems to be that Pretlove has some rude remark for them. But to me, the sight of those dusty soldiers clomping away brings the physical feel of war close for the first time. And then suddenly I hear the rattle of rifle bolts and the clink of steel helmets, and then the crunch of marching feet as men all around me march off to the front. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Each rhythmic crunch of the boots draws the war closer and closer. Oh God, soon it'll be my turn, and my feet too. Crunch, crunch, dragging me forward towards those guns, those bloody blasted guns. I suppose I must be making a melodrama out of all this. There's something so unnatural and so horrible about the sight of those soldiers plodding like soulless automatons through a desolate land. It's all rather unnerved me. Anyway, I must try and pull myself together like those other men over there who seem to be quietly relaxing in the sun. There's Pretlove there, who seems to spend almost every waking minute relishing one of the highly immoral and vulgar leaves he's spent. And of course, solid, dour old Bill Richards, who seems to spend most of his time listening to Pretlove. Then, of course, there's dear old Tom Mason, who has been in the war since early 1915. He can be a little old-fashioned at times, particularly where young Ginger Morris is concerned, who has, without doubt, the most active bowel system in the British Army. He's always emerging from behind some bush or other. And as he usually has some cheeky answer ready, poor old Tom ends up by being furious. But Ted Crompton I've never really liked. Probably because I feel he rather enjoys his war. As for young Lieutenant Ferris, I always think how awful it must be for him before an offensive. He's always got to appear calm and in complete control of his nerves, no matter what he really feels. It's probably a lot easier for the experienced Sergeant Harmon. He's been in the front a good many times before. God, those guns again. They seem to be nearer now, louder and more insistent. They seem to have destroyed every vestige of the peace and beauty of this morning. Air is foul, the trees seem to become twisted and warped. Branches jab at me, sharp-pointed and hard like steel, like the battle. Oh God, the battle, I'm scared. I'm so bloody scared. See, I know what's going to happen. I can see it all in my mind. I can see it. I can see the details of the battle in my mind. I can hear the noise. I can see the blurred confusion. Men running, men left to die. God, it's too bloody awful, and I'm so scared. For this is what I'm going to go through. Yards of mud, just heaving, stinking mud. And in a short while again the Boche will win it back again. Meanwhile, let them cheer. It's a wonderful achievement. And that is how I shall probably die. Left like some torn, screwed up rag on the battlefield. When you know this is going to happen to you, your body suddenly becomes something terribly precious to you. Your flesh, soft and warm, is yours. A personal belonging, not to be treated like some discarded piece of offal. You find yourself thinking about this, and realizing what a wonderful thing your body is, and what an awful and wrong thing it is to maltreat it. But all that is to come. At the moment it's just the watching and the waiting. Watching the lieutenant and waiting for someone, probably a brigade runner, to bring him our movement orders. Orders that'll take us to the front, to those guns. Oh, come on, why the hell doesn't something happen? Time is just grinding by and nothing is happening. Perhaps the runner won't appear. Perhaps... Oh. Oh, God. I should have known. Should have known there'd be no escape. The others must know it too. I wonder what they're thinking about. What's going on behind that cold front of Crompton's? Crompton, who has vowed to run at least 3 Germans through with his bayonet before the battle's over. Is he really as hard and as cold as he would have us believe? Or is all this toughness merely a front to cover his real feelings? Only he knows. I don't envy poor old Tom. He's been to the front so many times before. He really knows what he's in for. Must be awful for him. Must be awful for all of them. Just managing to control their feelings on the outside, they wait and watch in silence. Impassive, expressionless. But what on the inside? Fear, resentment, bewilderment, or just loneliness. That officer had only the power to write down what each of his men really felt, and could then make the people who start these wars read about it. Then maybe they... Oh, well. Anyway, I see now that we're about to start our little war. So let's pull up our equipment, pull it on, and get ready to play at being tin soldiers and go and fight for a few yards of earth. So now I'm ready. With my rifle and bayonet and steel helmet and ammunition, I suppose I must be everything that those recruiting posters say I should be. They don't tell you can get so scared, so numb, that even the rough canvas webbing, you can't feel it. You just don't know it's there. Your whole body is a vacuum without feeling, except perhaps for a cold, clammy palm. And to be a proper soldier, you've got to wipe your hand by making little furtive moves so that nobody can see. There's an ache in your throat, and your head hurts, and your mind flits from thing to thing. You can't think properly. Your hands remotely do odd little things without you knowing. Oh God, my head hurts. Why can't someone explain to me just why I've got to die? Soon there'll be nothing. Just a void. Nothing. Tom, please help me. Give me some of your strength, so that I won't be scared, as you're not scared. Tom, please help me. And he didn't say a thing, didn't try to help me. I just don't know why. Or was he scared too? I shall never know. I shall never know. So then it was time for us to leave. Well, I suppose in years to come, people will say about us, they went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. God, Only they knew. As we marched along the top of the ridge, I saw below us a German prisoner. He was the first German soldier I'd ever seen. As I looked at him, I saw complete ridiculousness of the whole thing. He was eating a bowl of soup or something, and he looked so ordinary, so harmless. He might have been Pretlove or Morris sitting there, just wearing a different uniform. This man was meant to be our enemy, one of the soldiers of the hated Imperial German Empire, one of the men we'd been trained to kill. And he looked so harmless. But the most terrible thing about war is not just the fact that we have to kill men so much like ourselves, but that we have to hate them and keep on hating them. And now, meanwhile, all that is left to us, to our section, is to go forward and fight and kill men like him, like ourselves. It seems so bloody pointless. We go forward to those guns and God only knows what will happen to us. God only knows. We're told what a tremendous thing it is to die for one's country. Well, tell it to those too.